Let's go to Nikki. Nikki Prince in Norfolk. Hello, Nikki.
Hello, Vanessa.
Well, I don't imagine you're occupying Norfolk at this moment.
Absolutely not, no. I mean, it's ridiculous to say there's 1% of people that are coping. We're all finding it hard. I mean, we're finding it hard here in the rural communities, particularly, with petrol and diesel and that sort of stuff. But we're not sitting outside churches protesting.
Do you think there's any point in the protest? Certainly it's getting a great deal of publicity, even right now on this very programme.
Yes, it is getting a lot of publicity on your programme. But if you remember, if you listened to Chris Evans this morning, he was also very much against this protest being outside St Paul's Cathedral. I think if they feel they must protest, to go outside the Bank of England or something like that. But not St Paul's. St Paul's is a holy place, and I think they're causing a lot of unnecessary disruption. Plus the fact, I think that young lady who spoke to you before, Ruth, was it?
Yes.
She didn't sound English.
No, I don't think she was English. She sounded American,
well, I think that's a damn cheek, actually. How dare she?
Well, I suppose she's entitled to protest, regardless of her country of origin.
I think if we went over to Canada or America, I think we'd be getting pretty short shrift if we protested.
I don't think we have any idea how long she's lived here. She may have lived here for a long time. But let's go to Flo in Brighton. Flo, hello, you're with the protesters.
Yes, I am.
Every step of the way.
Yes, absolutely.
Why is that? Why do you feel so firmly in their favour?
Well, I feel that the protesters are really just a symbol of what perhaps people all over the country are feeling, certainly what I'm feeling.
Well, what are you feeling?
Well, anger at what's happened with the banking system, anger at what the present government is doing, their solutions to the economic crisis, which I don't agree with. And I really feel passionately that this country, one of its big strengths is that people can protest, people can go out into the streets and say when they don't agree with things. And the protesters are there sort of exercising that right. And in fact, we've been to Iraq to fight for other people's right to do that, to protest.
But Flo, I mean, you'll remember the days of we shall not be moved. But if you move yourself and go home to catch up on Downton Abbey and have a cheese sandwich, how can you say you won't be moved? You've moved yourself, haven't you?
Well, yes, they have moved themselves, but times have changed, and we're living in a modern world. I understand that people do have other, they've got families. People don't want to be out in the street. I do understand that, and the truth is that when the ordinary people, sort of the ordinary people who don't have very much, why is it always them who have to be somehow showing themselves to somehow be saintly in some way, or to go above and beyond? No one's called the bankers to account. No one's called the City of London to account. Your caller who came on before, there was a man, and he said the City of London had made a huge donation of 40 million to St Paul's Cathedral. Well, lucky old Corporation of London, because presumably they're big businesses and banking institutions that are making lots of money, and how fortunate for them to have 40 million to donate, which might well be a tax write-off for them. And I think that the house of God, given that God is for all, and that Jesus himself was someone who rose up and gave voice to the ordinary people and to the downtrodden, why shouldn't it be there in front of St Paul's the ordinary people are able to go forward and say, no, we disagree with what's happened. We're not happy about what's happened.
Well, let me bring Nikki back in. Nikki, that veritably could have come from a pulpit, that speech just there about Jesus and what he would have said.
I don't think Jesus would have been very pleased. He'd have probably got jolly angry, actually, about that particular issue, because he did before.
Why would Jesus not have welcomed the underprivileged?
I beg your pardon?
Why would Jesus not have
I didn't say he wouldn't welcome the underprivileged. He might not welcome the way it's being done, because, yes, it is a house of God, so please let us have some peace and move away. And if you feel so strongly about the banks, then go and protest outside the major banks.
But the protesters have been moved on from the sort of
then they should. Well, they're going to be moved on.
Area. They've been moved on from there and outside.
Why did you choose St Paul's? Why St Paul's?
Because St Paul's is a public place. St Paul's is for everybody. God, St Paul's, it's built for the it's for the whole of London, presumably for the whole of the UK. It's an emblem. It's something that during the Second World War was an emblem of Britain's coming together and standing up to oppression, standing up and having a voice. And I think that why not? And what's wrong with how the protesters are protesting? All they've done is put up some tents. There has been no violence. They're not doing anything wrong. They're simply peacefully camping out. Now, I'm sorry, but it's perfectly all right for other people to access St Paul's. The lady speaker before said that there is access to St Paul's. So, why is it exactly that St Paul's feels it has to close? Because it could be open. And it's very emotive to say, and St Paul's will be closed for Christmas. This is trying to vilify peaceful protest.
I don't think we're trying to vilify peaceful protest. I think you're all getting a bit hysterical about it, actually, and I think you're barking up the wrong tree, and I think you could do more good elsewhere.
Well, where else should the protesters go? I can't say we, because I'm not one of them, but where else should they go?
Well, move away from St Paul's, because I do think that is particularly unpopular.
Thank you very much indeed.